Welcome everybody, Masters World Cup Hockey Tokyo 2022, Tuesday 25th of October. Two of the powerhouse teams in the group, Australia versus Ireland. Alrighty folks, and as the teams are warming up there, we'll see the team sheet up on the screen in front of you. The players marked with an X are on the starting 11. Team coached by Coach Sean Curran, and manager Norma Clark. The players marked with the X are actually on the field in the starting 11. So number 1, Tim Hogg, the goalkeeper, takes the field in the second half, as you can see. Captain Stuart Switzer, number 24, followed by Fergus Stapleton, 26. Eddie O'Malley, old-fashioned centre half. 28, Keith Jess, plays anywhere from a fullback to a forward and is always in and around the scoring circle. Lord Pollock, number 34, Billy Pollock. Of Ballygrot, number 35, Stuart Egner. 39, Richard Clark, another mainstay for the Irish team. 46, Henry Brown, a forward, fit as a flea, old Henry. 49, Martin Kremen, injured at the moment, unfortunately, Martin, but still an incredible player. 53, first year in the Irish Masters teams, Carl Collins. Number 68, Brendan Rice, playing fullback. 79, Andy Matthews. Again, Andy plays in the middle of the park and gets all around the place, causes havoc with opposition teams. 83, Charlie Taylor with a green bandana, always running hard and putting his heart out there. Billy Wakari Maska-Dowie, number 84, and 86 is Roger West, followed by 101, Budgie Tim Myers, and of course 111, David Kiernahan, aka Mad Dog, the goalkeeper who will take the side out in the first half. Now for Australia, number 1, Captain Paul Murray, followed by Big DC, David Campbell. Diesel, number 3, Don Bowser. The goalkeeper, Bull, Mark Finch. Number 5, Clive Harrison with the black gloves. Everyone will recognise Clive in the forward line. Number 6, Paul Leadbeater, aka Ace. Number 8, Dennis Martin. Number 9, Mark McGilligan. 10 is Robin Mayer, and Reddo, number 11, Robert Redding. Number 12, Jeff Robinson. 13, Normie Same. 14 is Stephen Sawyers, aka Bones. Number 15, Peter Shepherd. 16, Paul Spencer. 17, Don Trewin. And number 18, the man with the designer eyebrow, Peter Yori, aka Bart. Coach since 1843, Robert Lawson, and manager since almost forever as well, Caroline Campbell. Missing from that lineup, we see is Banj, which is the other goalkeeper, unfortunately, but hopefully we'll see him another day. Okay, so let's get this game underway. Okay, you can see a couple of the Irish players hopping around. Clive Harrison on the ball, popped it straight back there to the captain. It's Paul Murray. He's come out to the right hand side. Now Australia, they do like that right hand side, and decide to switch it back the other way now. First time across here to Ace, but he's sort of tackling his own player. Good on him. Having a look up now, and decides to blast one through, and that's all the way through, as we could say, to the keeper. And that's Mad Dog Kiernahan in goal back there. Interestingly enough, we've got a few strange critters out there on the field today, as this comes out through Keith Jess and up to Budgie. Just draws a player in there, takes a foul and plays it into Eddie O'Malley, comes back to Fergus Stapleton and back out to Billy Dowie. I'll get back to the names of goalkeepers shortly. Billy goes back to Budgie. Clive's got given him a bit of attention, and Keith Jess now slips one through there to Lord Pollock, who gives it back to Jess, and Jess draws the foul. So you can see 3 or 4 Australians in there, over the top by Jess, and DC, Big Dave Campbell there, number 2, just marshals that away. Across the middle, Henry Brown now, straight back in, and just, Billy Pollock there, lurking on the top of the D. Good one from Henry Brown, great idea to first time it. Unfortunately, didn't get his angle quite right. Always hard when that ball's coming across at you like that, just to get it on the first time. but it's probably the right decision because it would have given Billy Pollock the time he needed perhaps to get the shot away. And now Australia slide out here to the inside channel, has a look up, nothing on there, so goes back round through DC. He blasts it through that inside channel, but only as far as Stapleton. It comes back first time across there, bobbling ball up and away, back to Australia, who took possession, but they couldn't connect with Paul there, number 16 for Australia, with the beautiful shaved head. Yeah, it's a wonderful thing. And that's into Budgie. He's just keeping a bit of attention going there from the opposition player, just drawing him in. And he takes the free, walks away, and lets Billy Dowell march up the field. Billy does the right thing, slips it wide into space. So Ireland just progressing down the field nicely here, not in any great hurry. Just drawing the players. Dowie again, gets rid, nice and early, Lord Pollock. Puts it on the feet, but it's play on into Budgie. Takes a stick check, and another stick check. And comes out wide to Henry Brown. Where's Henry going? Looks like he's going to go back here, which is what he does to Egner. And Egner just comes square across the back to Roger West. He tries to go to Jess there. Looked like his stick was slightly interfered with on the execution, which put it back over the sideline. Anyway, back to goalkeepers. We've got an interesting array of strange animals in the goal today. For Australia, we have bull. And then we have at the other end of the field, at the moment we've got Mad Dog Kernahan, which is David Kiernan. And then replacing him at half time is the Hog. So that's Tim Hogg. Now, they do have some strange names, these goalkeepers. I know in Australia we have another one called Animal, and another one called Toad. So there you have it. And there's Ace just getting his pocket picked by Budgie, but he just showed too much of it and then leaned in to try and make good his mistake. Clive kicks the ball back to Jess. He raises his hand up and says what's happening, and then he goes over the top, but Harrison gets a stick up there and just happened to get it nicely in the right place. Comes back through DC, and he just does the right thing and spreads it right there through Jeff Robinson. Back over to the right hand side now, and they haven't been hitting that right hand side as much as they have in previous games, Australia. Ireland happy to sit back and soak up the pressure and move forward slowly. That looks like it took a foot, but nothing given. Australia ball at the side. He slips it through only as far as Egner. It comes back to Pollock now. Yeah, reached in. And nothing much on forward. Okay, well, looks like the umpire's given a free there to Ireland, so obviously there's been a foul on the way through, must have picked up a foot. Egner in the headband. This goes 1-2 with West as he walks up the field there to the 23-yard line. Stapleton mistrapped and put it up, and now it's turnover ball for Australia. Dummies there, Paul, and then just comes back inside. Egner again, nicely done. Kept a stick on the ball as he moved around there, so it just protected the ball nicely. As I say, Ireland not in any great hurry here, just happy to use the time wisely, but that's a poor ball. And turnover there to Paul for Australia. He's taking his player on here. Roger West gets himself in the way. Now Bart here, Peter Yori, goes 1-2 with Paul. Paul shoves his player out of the way, and Bart does a little dribble side to side, draws the player in, and then creates the foul. Umpire said take it over to the side a little bit further. So Bart has another crack. Okay, Peter Yori now smashes one across. And that's picked up Roger West on the way through there, unfortunately, and that's a free out. Umpire's picking up his stick, helping him back to his feet. He's a bit of a gentleman, old Roger, doesn't say much, just gets on with the job. I'm just waiting for the ball to be returned there from Mad Dog. Keith just gives it a kick. Egner in the headband. And everyone slides across to that side of the field, so you can see Australia's really putting a heavy press on the side where the ball is. And that one's out and over the sideline. So Australia recycles now, and they're going to move it back to the other side. It changes back there from one side to the other. That was Shep at the back 15. And up and over the top, and that's a good ball into traffic though, so the Australians didn't give 5 metres, and there's Peter Yori putting pressure on the ball carrier, which he shouldn't be doing. Eddie O'Malley gets gang tackled, and that's broken down the play, so Jess advances forward again, comes out wide, so spreads the play. Dowie now has a look back, throws it back inside to Jess. There's a big shove there from Paul Spencer, and free given. Jess now to Dowie. Eddie O'Malley's reaching in strong and hard. Unfortunately, after the bit of a shove there, it put him off balance, but here's turnover ball, and Jess is now playing with Clive Harrison. Clive thought he'd won the ball, but no. And Dowie decided to recycle across the field. And Brown now back into the Australian feet. So you can see the Australians are really working hard off the ball here. Ireland happy to let them work hard. And meanwhile they just slow the play and walk up the field. Although in truth they're spending an awful lot of time in their own half, but now there's a bit of a break on from Stapleton, throws one through there, and Switzer first time into the action, chasing the ball down, but Ace is just allowing that ball to run out and positioning his body just enough so that it blocks him on the way through. Shep, here he is, Peter Shepherd. Oh, a nice ball through to the right half, and they just slide out, coming down this right side again. Nice play there, but Budgie just leans in and picks that one off him, puts it back into the leg. There's talking its old stick, but the umpire sees it differently. And it just comes out wide there to Dowie again, who comes back to Budgie, teases his player, pulls it back, just wasting some time, pulling it back. Now he's got himself in trouble. He's surrounded here. There's 3 Australians around him and no white player square. Billy and Henry Brown was arriving, but unfortunately he's tapped it out over the sideline, trying to encourage the Australians to tap it over the sideline, and did it himself. So turn over to Australia. They of course recycle the way they do. DC on the ball, number 2. Goes out wide, a little bit too much pace on that ball, and bouncing as well. Those are always going to be difficult. Bouncing ball, trying to run back and pick it up on your reverse close to the sideline. And of course it didn't happen. Brendan Rice there just injects the ball. Dowie runs himself into the middle channel, and Egner passes that one out to Budgie. He just plays it nicely off the Australian stick and over the sideline. Dowie now comes back into his correct position over on this side. Tries to go through Harrison, didn't manage to do so. Harrison turns nicely and finds a little bit of space there, and that's a good turn again, but only into trouble. And Ireland sort of scrambling and throwing the ball out over the sideline. Paul Leadbeater here, aka Ace, and again back and around. unfortunately this camera is losing a bit of focus here. The cameras pick up on differences, and of course when you've got a lot of blue in the place, it sometimes loses focus. Awful lot of white in front of them, so Australia go back and around again, and they just slide right, slow and easy. And unfortunately left that player over there free, Peter-Yori. He dragged it back, dragged it back too much. Charlie Taylor getting in the way there. So Charlie, first time we've seen him, and Dowie just gets a nice little stick in there. Budgie tries to slip it through, only as far as Peter-Yori, but he's worked his way back, and Peter-Yori's tackled him and created the foul. So now Ireland walk the field up as Australia draws back, and Charlie Taylor comes out wide to Brown. Oh, this is good play from Ireland, but they're really not making much headway past the middle of the field here. And as you can see, they're still in their own half and progressing slowly. Dowie again recycles, Budgie. Yeah, so it's nice triangle work. It's good possession, and it's frustrating the Australians for sure. It was Richard Clark doing all that work there, that good work in the centre. Egner decides he's going to have a run up the field here, and that's bobbled through to Billy Pollock off of Andy Matthews, who's chasing the ball down now on the sideline. And just in back play there for Australia, in the right wing, in the left fullback position, that's Don Bowser, Donny Diesel, and Billy Dowie's thrown that. He's obviously expecting a run there, which didn't happen. Australia just hanging onto the ball and waiting for a gap to open, which it did, but unfortunately couldn't be trapped. So that was off Paul Murray, number 1, the captain, out and over the sideline. Australia dropped well back there, as you can see. Dowie puts it into the feet, and it's bounced up and over the sideline. Budgie sees where it's going and just allows it to do so. Rolls it back to Dowie. Wasn't interested in coming forward that time. Back to Budgie. Again, draws a tackle. Number 10's got his hand up in the air, Rob Meagher. Dowie again, back to Matthews this time, showing that he's going to lift it, and just puts it off the stick and over the sideline again. So Rob Meagher's had a bit of practice of putting that ball over the sideline from that position, and Egner's made a bit of a balls up of that one. He's come across here and managed to get it clear, and there's a stick through the legs and interfering with play on that side, so Australia's quite happy to break down the play. And Brendan Rice works his way across now to take this free hit. Carl Collins slips it to Budgie, just holds it up and has a look. Bobbles it up back to Collins. And Richard Clark, 1-2, 1-2. Just a little bit too far forward. And Don Bowser, Diesel, aka Diesel there, number 3 for Australia. Tidies up at the back. David Campbell now works his way across the field, unopposed. Charlie Taylor in the mix. Henry Brown, and a bit of a fight and a scrap going on in there. The one-eyebrowed warrior there. Bart throws it to Don Trewin, 17, and now it's with Paul Murray, the captain, who comes out wide on their left-hand side this time. So Australia's coming out wide all the way around and back again. Diesel, Campbell, back to Diesel. Don Diesel, originally a Queenslander, Moved down to Tasmania. Sometimes seen playing state hockey for Victoria, sometimes seen playing hockey for ACT. You never can tell where these players are going to go sometimes. Here's a bit of a chance, and umpires found, I think, a foot in there. He was quick on the whistle. Just waiting on the ball to come back again. And it's just coming up to half time, but just throwing the ball over the sideline there just to run down the clock as the quarter time comes into play. As Ireland have been under a bit of pressure, and here's the recycled ball coming back now. So there was there's a hooter going, so there's the quarter time and everybody marches off the field. And as we start the second quarter, Peter Yori walks it forward and sees there's nothing on, so comes back through DC, shows one way, shows the other way, and comes out to the right. Again, nothing really there. The players are all marked, and it's up and over the top, so you've got to give 5 metres to the defender if the player's already set and under the ball. Ireland perfectly happy to take their time and walk the ball up the field. And that's a bit of a missed trap there. Players standing with their stick up in the air instead of expecting the ball that's gone under the Ireland foot, so there's bound to be an Australia ball, which is exactly what it is. And Australia takes on the player here and challenges Charlie Taylor, but Charlie's letting that one run over the back line. He doesn't mind too much, but no. Umpire said it took a foot, so Bart throws the ball back, and Australia's going to retake this. Long corners off the Ireland stick then. DC throws it wide again. An awful lot of white shirts in here. Andy Matthews, this change of direction there, takes the ball in an unexpected direction and up the foot of Peter Yori for a free out. Roger West throws the ball up here, not the easiest ball for Matthews to collect. By the time he got to the ball, he was already under pressure, so 2 sticks together lifted the ball up and into his shin. He's claiming it's his knee, but the umpire sees it differently. And down this end you can see this umpire closest to us. That's Bruce Hockey, of all names. Good name for a hockey umpire. Australian umpire. And here's a shot on target now. That's Jeff Robinson decided to have a crack, but Mad Dog was up and at him, so nothing going there. They come back around the back line, through the legs here. Egner's cleared it away to the side, which is the right thing to do. Australia regathers and up and off the stick. So long corner, DC. Yuri walked around, changed the angle, changed the direction, has a look up. Nothing on, nothing in front of him, only white, still nothing in front of him. Manages to get something on that one, and that's slipped through, and that's a short corner, a missed trap. It's run through Egner there, and he's just got himself slightly in the way of Paul, and unfortunately that was all that was needed, and the umpire's given the short corner. So now you see they're all coming up here. There's big DC number 2, probably on strike, I suspect. Number 9, Mark McGilligan. Ireland finding their way back into position. Rob Meagher on the injection for Australia. Peter Yori on the right. So here we go. There's a good injection. Going to be a strike. Oof. And that's a free out by the looks of things. Yes, it is. So missed the target and missed the deflection. Ireland get to walk the ball up. take the free out. Australia happy to let them have that ball across the back. Matthews now. And they managed to get a little bit of a, a movement going here. Oops, a daisy. And that's the oldest player back there, number 8, Dennis Martin, who was in the play before. Matthews slips the ball through, nice little touch there. Roger West puts the ball up now, and here we are, Lord Pollock, as he turns around. He's going to look for a foot here, but he puts it across the face of goal. Oh, that's well done, Henry Bound diving in there, and that's cleared away. So that was good movement from Ireland. They bided their time, slow, slow, quick, quick, slow. And you can see Bruce Hockey, the umpire, having a word there with Lord Pollock. He's talking about raising his stick, and Pollock's raising his hands, and the umpire's raising his arm. So they're obviously having discussions to who's who and what's what. And the umpire, I'm sure, is telling him that he's got the whistle. West back into Rob Meagher's foot and stick again. As I say, he's been there. He certainly learned very well how to put that ball over the sideline from that position so far. He's had about 8 or 10 goals at it, and he's managed to do it successfully every time. West throws it back now. Egner all the way across Rice to Collins. First year in the Masters for Collins. He's done well, gotten himself fit. He's got some good skill. Henry Brown, Collins again. Player coming up behind him. Managed to get it away, so that's pretty handy. A little bit slow on that ball coming back. So yet again, Ireland coming back and around, back and around, back and around. Australia seem to have sort of lost a bit of interest, but there's a missed trap from Matthews, and that one slipped through. And it's going to be the Australia ball, which it is. There's Paul over it now. And Donny Diesel kicking the ball and telling everybody he's going to take this one, which he does. He lifts it up and over the top there. I'm not quite sure why. There was plenty of space to go into, but that's where he's gone. Yuri's dropped back now. Diesel, number 3, moved up the field. Clive Harrison finds himself some space, takes it out wide, puts it through the legs there, and short corner given. Looked like he'd lost control of that. It's a tough one. But anyway, maybe there was a stick involved as well. The umpire's right there, and he was on the whistle straight away. So Paul Murray there, the captain's up as well this time. Paul Spencer to inject with the ball head, as you see. No, somebody's pointing over that way. So I don't think it's going to be him. Clive Harrison in the gloves, number 5 there on the left. And DC on strike, number 2. It's a good injection, only as far as DC. Pops one up. And thrown out over the sideline. Other umpires called the short corner. It did look like it took a bit of a foot in there. It was all in slow motion there for a second. But DC just threw the ball back in towards the keeper, put it into the troublesome spot where the goalkeeper or defender has to actually do something with it. And in the ensuing, well, I wouldn't say panic, but melee, it looked like it possibly picked up a foot, called by the disengaged umpire. Here we go again, this time DC, it's inside this time, strike, and that's out and over the sideline there from Captain Murray. So yet again, Ireland taking their time, walking back, picking up the ball. Not the most thrilling game of hockey you'll ever watch in your life. Collins mistrapped that one, and the Australian players are tackling each other just about. Normie Same now having a bit of a run through. number 13, Budgie. Yeah, drawing the foul. And Bart Yori's getting himself into an awful lot of situations here, and I think he's gone off now for 2 minutes for keep running and crashing into players. That went up and over the top there, and popped out over the Ireland stick. Don Diesel throws one over the top to Clive, and he gets something on it, so well kept in Clive. Collins approaches him, he's bobbled one through. Charlie Taylor slips it away, back into the danger zone. Egner though puts it, instead of going out to the right hand side, he's put it into the trouble. Missed the Australia foot and put it onto Budgie's foot for a short corner, would you believe it? So very unfortunate there, but you get that sometimes. So the usual suspects are up there again, except this time on the right hand side we've got Norman Same, who's over there on the right hand side, just backing off, as you can see. And the Australians, they've walked up to the top to try and discuss the short corner again, and the umpire's had enough of it. He said, you're wasting too much time here, and so he's giving it to Ireland. Roger West comes out, Richard Clark, that's it. West again, down to Pollock. Pops it through the first one, pops it through the second. But unfortunately over the back line, Dennis Martin was there, but he managed to get through Martin, but unfortunately didn't beat the sideline. And that's off the Australia foot yet again. Fergus Stapleton's worked his way up there, top right hand corner. You can see he's being marked by Ace, who switched to the other side. He was over on our near side previously for Australia. And it's Eddie O'Malley under an awful lot of pressure there. The ball was thrown to him while he was marked, and on his left hand side as well. He reached in, but it was always going to be a 50-50 ball. There's Same throwing the ball back. DC for the Aussies. All the Ireland players are back now, regained their shape and more or less within their own 23 here. Bart goes on the reverse but bobbles it up, and so the umpire is saying that's not going to fly. A flying ball's not going to fly, so he's given the free out to Ireland. But he just rolls it back to the appropriate position for Egner. And yet again Australia, they're leaving space over on Ireland's right hand side here. They seem to be happy for them to have it over there. O'Malley puts it back to Jess and tries to put it onto the feet, but it's only gone as far as Harrison off the bobbling ball and the stick of Australia, and that's going to run through to nothing. And Norman Same there is giving Billy Dowie, 84, a good shove in the back for his trouble. But Dowie was in the right, of course. He was there or thereabout as far as the ball was concerned. Egner showing that he can hit a ball as well if he wants to. He doesn't. And again, options left and right. A little bit slow taking that, and allowed Australia to walk up into the D and put some pressure on West. Here's Budgie now. Takes it back into the middle, and it again draws the foul, but Egner puts it out wide, and unfortunately that's a poor pass on as far as Australia. DC, but he's surrounded, so he's got to go back, so it's actually no harm done, and the ball at least is back in the Australian territory with Dennis Martin at the moment. 69 this year, Dennis Martin, oldest player in the Australian side, playing centre back or sweeper, as you can see, all the way back there. Hasn't had much to do because Ireland's happy to play a half-court press and Australia's happy to oblige them, and that's bobbled all the way through here. And Normie Same, there's Keith Jess, where's he going? He's put it up and off the stick. So That was nicely done. Oh, that was telegraphed there from Charlie Taylor, and Big DC just stepped in. Eddie O'Malley tried to lay a flat stick, but DC's got a big long dragon, and now he's walked his way all the way down into that far corner, and having gotten there he's got to drop it back. Budgie gets a nibble, but not enough, and now Australia has a chance to slide that one back across through Captain Murray, only as far as the Australian foot. It was through Richard Clark, the Irish foot, I beg your pardon, to Richard Clark, and back to Donny Diesel. He's trying to find a player, but that's just going to be let run out there from Dowie, so well watched Dowie. He had a player behind him and he was shielding the ball as it came through, so he knew there was no danger. Egner started early this time. Jess. Unfortunately, back into the Australian player again there. And Australia making more ground for Ireland than Ireland's making at the moment there through Don Truan, 17. And number 2 passes to number 3, so DC to Diesel. Bowser, as in Petrol Bowser, or Diesel Bowser, hence the name Diesel, or the nickname Diesel. Charlie Taylor approaches Ace, who walks it into the D, and doesn't manage to find the foot. And the umpire has given the free hit at the side. Yes. Ace allowed to walk into the D there, which was a bit remiss of Ireland, without so much as a flat stick tackle. There's a free hit on the edge of the D. And we can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So all 11 white shirts are back there, and all the green shirts are up there as well. Ace on the ball now. Number 6. Not much space in there for people to do very much. Charlie Taylor gets a bit of a stick in there. Fires one across the face, and it's bounced through, and oh dear. Rob Megan on the far post. He was there, but it was a bouncing ball, and he just missed it. Paul Murray goes over the top. DC cracks one in. Long corner. Yeah, Egner tidying up there. White headband and white wrist guards, you can see, for Ireland in the middle of the D. That looks like Diesel down there on the ball. Gives it to Harrison. Managed to get deflection through there. Ace. Yeah, pretended as though he was going to hit the ball and drew the foul off of Jess. Well, Jess got pretty close to him, and then it was just a question of holding onto the ball and waiting for the shove. Mad Dog's having a word with the umpire. Not that that's going to do any good. So back here you've got Budgie and the green bandana on that side. Okay, the usual suspects, nearly everybody up and around the D. So it's in the injection here. Good hand trap DC, lays it one left to Harrison, and he goes wide, and that's all she wrote. So that's the half-time whistle, and the score: Australia 0, Ireland 0. And as the players retake the field here after half-time, as you can see, they've changed ends. Paul Murray here for Australia, doing a little samba dance, number 16 here. Now he's doing a few crouches, a few squats. Change in the forward line. Budgie up there on the right-hand wing. Billy Pollock, centre forward. Henry Brown, 46, on the left wing. Jess now goes through to Matthews, bounces one through, missed his position a little bit. Dowie there outside the sideline and diving back in to try and keep the ball alive, but unfortunately didn't manage to do so. Ace now approaches for Australia, cracks one long, but out and over the back line for a long corner. Peter there, you can see how keen he is, running back to regather the ball and throw it back to the 23. So nice and easy, and Bart there he is again, in and around the action, shows it one way, shows the other, spins around, goes back, shows it one way, does an awful lot of spinning and turning, and then throws it to Henry Brown, who's missed the trap completely, and it's fallen to Jeff Robinson, but he's only found himself in trouble as far as Australia's concerned, and just put it on the Ireland stick. Richard Clark there, picking up the pace for Ireland. Richard, a mainstay in the middle of the field, number 39, and here's Keith Jess, and Keith does a power of work, puts it onto Paul's foot and then throws it through only as far as DC, who was lurking there just waiting for a pass to be thrown. And Paul Murray here protects the ball with his body, gets away with it, left the ball behind him as he ran through and just shielded the ball, but anyway gets away with it, and that time it's only just gone as far as the Ireland stick yet again for Richard Clark, but the umpires found something. And Paul Spencer now, I'm getting my Murrays and my Spencers mixed up. DC's wandered forward again from his fullback position, and Paul just tries to put the ball through, but put too much on it, and Jess was there to tidy up. So umpire hockey is giving the ball back to Ireland. And you can see Australia's press here. They're not allowing that ball to go back round the back quite so easily to the opposite side as what it has been. Brendan Rice there managed to get a second nibble at that and put it off of Peter Yory's stick, who knocked it over the sideline. Brendan Rice again. Players standing around with their stick up in the air, but you've really got to get that stick down. Andy Matthews pops it one way, back the other, and manages to pick up the foul on the way through. Australia not in any great hurry either, because obviously Ireland are in possession, so they want all the time that they can take in order to reset their players. Jess, this one through, Budgie. Oh, shove in the back. But he gets shoved in the back and the umpire gives the ball to Australia. There you go. Yory. Clive. Harrison pulls it back, makes himself a little bit of space. And, oh dear, Paul. Brendan Rice getting close and personal with Paul. He does what he's been doing, he leaves the ball behind him and spins over it and knocks the player out of the way on his way through, but the umpire yet again gives him the ball down the other end. That self-same umpire just blew completely the opposite way, but there you go. And now that's a short corner, so it's unfortunate for Ireland, but it's a short corner given. We can see now the change of goalkeeper for Ireland, Tim Hogg, in his red and yellow strip. Paul Spencer on the right, Peter Yory 18, top there, Redo number 11, trapping. Let's just see where this goes to Redo, it's off the hand, yeah, they took the shot anyway, no, Ireland saying it was a high ball. Not only was it a high ball, it hit the hand or hit the wrist of the player, so both umpires missed that one and they were given the ball back to Australia. tried to go over the top with that one, but didn't make it. Taylor in attendance here with ace, and he manages to get it back. There's plenty of Australians back there in a mile of space, so it makes it easy to play a back pass. And they come wide, which is what they're prone to do. And that goes for a reverse shot. Here's Clive. Oh, it's very nicely done. Had 2 goals at that one and cracked it into the backboards. Wide of the keeper. Keeper went down, but not quick enough. Yeah, he's a good finisher, Clive. He doesn't need too many chances to score a goal. As usual, a couple of little mistakes along the way, as is often the case. So it's first blood to Australia. As we can see, the score's been added, so it's 1-0 Australia. They haven't really had many chances. They've had some short corners, which haven't been very successful. And that's bobbled over the sideline, so a mistrap there from Budgie. Paul Ledbetter now. Recycles. All the way out here to the right hand side. So Australia playing expansive hockey now. Normie Same, Peter Yuri, and he's put it out and over the sideline, the back line. Dowie, and there's the goal scorer, putting a hassle on him, Andy Matthews. Nicely just puts it through the legs, and bobs that one through. Bad body shape there from Collins as he was trying to receive the ball. Unfortunately, he was spinning and trying to receive at the same time. When you don't have a lot of time and space, that makes it difficult. And there seems to be an awful lot of space on this right hand side now for Australia to come out, so Ireland's shape has obviously changed a little bit there. Normie Same does his classic move, which is take it down the back line and then spin and come back inside. And really you've got to learn your player. And Brendan Rice tries to tomahawk the ball, but hits the ball with his back stick. Henry Brown in attendance to put some pressure on the ball carrier here. Jeff Robinson manages to get it away for Australia, all the way to the other side to ace. So they're moving Ireland from side to side, side to side. Matthews had something on the ball, but not enough to be able to regather. And this is where Australia are very strong indeed. All that space to basically select their pass, draw Ireland across, comes for another reverse stick flat shot, and Same reintroduces the ball to play. Yuri finds Same on the back line, but he finds himself a white shirt, which is Roger West, and Roger's trying to run the ball out of play, but he gets tackled on his way through. Well, Jess comes out to Pollock, and he slightly mistraps it. Jess gives it back to Jess, but catches the foot. Now Yuri's attacking, so the umpire's not happy with the way Jess stepped across him, and he's giving away a short corner here. So you can see Bart Yuri there with a big white moustache. As he runs, you can see puffing out his cheeks, and sounds a bit like a steam train coming at you, or a dog. Oof, oof, oof. So you always know when he's close by and in attendance, but he does a power of work, and it's in now to DC. Straight shot, but the umpire's not happy about something here. Ireland's broke early. Roger West, 86, coming back. Umpire said no, go away. Oh, no, it wasn't Ireland that broke early. It must have been Australia that broke early, and the umpire's restarting the short corner. It's really slow injection. DC now striking, it's under the goalkeeper and away down to the side, and now Bruce Hockey's given the free out to Ireland. Roger West run the ball up here. Colling is just passing the ball now as he goes. Got Dowie over there available on the right, and Keith Jess walks up into position. Unfortunately far too far in front of Dowie, who is in space, not the space where the ball went. Ace. Campbell. Henry Brown putting some pressure on the missed trap. Good running Henry Brown. Ireland forwards running from side to side here, just trying to channel their players, and manages to find Paul for Australia. Dowie, another one of his diving sort of tackly things, but that one all across the face again, and here's a short corner. Peter there diving and carrying on, just tapped on the shoulder by Norman Same. They're the other two of them having a conversation on the top of the D. Harrison throws the ball back. So Redo, number 11, looks like he is going to be trapping the ball. DC's calling the shots here by the look of it. Captain Murray doesn't seem to have much of a say in what short corner's being taken. And that's come out to Yuri. And that's very nicely done. Tim Hogg got himself down in plenty of time, saw the shot was coming, got his stick angle correctly and deflected nicely away into space and out of danger. Ace goes back. DC cracks one long. Stapleton, no, didn't manage to get it. And Billy Dowie just about made the green, I think. There was the flag in the corner, you can see. Oh no, that's it's not the flag, it's Donny Diesel trying to get back on the field. Campbell now for Australia. Yuri. That's Martin back there, Dennis Martin. A little bit of lot of focus again, but now it's regathered itself, this camera. Paul Spencer, and all the way back. Dennis Martin cracks one long, that's a very good ball indeed. Jeff Robinson across the face, and Spencer, he managed to put Andy Matthews in trouble there, 79, and they're having a little love fest, him and the umpire. Yes, we understand. You didn't mean to do it, we know, but you did it. So this third quarter is working its way through now, with just about 3 minutes left to go. Australia leading 1-0. Come out on the opposite side of the striker. Yuri 1-2, and that's up and off the player, and it's a penalty stroke. Umpire raising up his hand saying not much you can do about that. Looks like Peter Yuri, Bart, with a designer eyebrow, is going to take it, and he's just having a little practice there. One umpire on the back line, goalkeeper got to stand on the goal line, so Bart set himself. And here he goes. Yeah, manages to sneak it in the side there, down low. Tim Hogg arriving a fraction of a second too late. Not the best stroke you'll ever see, but it went in, and that's all that counts. So that's Australia 2 and Ireland 0. And Ireland have been courting trouble. It's happy to let Australia move down the field and try and defend. And of course, if you invite a fox into the hen house, you're going to lose a couple of chickens once in a while, and they've certainly lost a couple of chickens today. And now they're looking a bit more lively. DC is running himself into trouble. There's an obstruction. Budgie runs the ball back. He's asking where it's got to be taken. having a look. I'm not sure who that one was to, but ended up on a green stick, unfortunately. Harrison. Matthews pulls it back, makes himself a bit of time and space. And Ireland now moving up the field with a little bit more pace and purpose. Dowie. And yet again, straight to a green stick. So you really can't afford to be throwing the ball away that easily when you're taking so much time and trouble to get down to the other end of the field, and you've got so little opportunity at that end. Roger West sips a small one to Henry Brown, and that's pulled back and over the sideline, but off the Australia stick on the way through. West now. Collins. Jess has got Dowie out there on the sideline. If he can find him, he does this time, puts it to his stick, not in front of him like he did previously. Matthews puts it back to Dowie, send it to Budgie. Jess, and that's a little bit slow yet again, but it's fallen to West, and here's Ireland ball and back to Jess yet again. Henry Brown managed to get a bit of a bobble on that ball and found the Australia foot on the way through, so nothing a bit of anti-skill won't fix, but no, it's gone the other way and it's up and over the top. That's Australia. That's Australia's not Australia ball, I should say. It's obviously been within the 5. Clive was taking off with it there. Keith Jess draws Harrison and then lays the ball off. Andy Matthews walking his way back down the field here. Roger West finds a foot. Charlie Taylor surrounded by 3 Australians, and the Australians come away with it. Jeff Robinson now. It's a nice ball over the top. Only as far as West. Unfortunately, it bobbled off his stick, and Rob Mayer was on the case. Yori. Harrison on the tomahawk. Here's Normie Same. He's trodden on somebody's stick on the way through there. It's Keith Jess's stick. And of course, if you stand on the head of a stick in this game, you're going to go tits up, as we say. And that ball's out and over the sideline. Hogg recovers. And I think they should really be waiting here until Tim Hogg finds his way back into the goal. But no, that's all she wrote, so that's the end of Q3. Here we are at Q4. There's Budgie 101 having a word with Bruce Hockey, the umpire, prior to taking the field. Pollock, away he goes, slides it out right to Budgie, so straight into the attack this time. Still Budgie, and draws the foul yet again. Happy to draw some attention. Roger West, Egner, Dowie. So Ireland moving the ball around. Bit of a mistrap from Collins, who maybe wanted to put it in front of him, but probably not that much. Charlie Taylor, just a little bit too much on that, too far in front of Matthews. So probably the right idea, but too far in front. And it's Australia's turn to work their way out from the back. Ireland press there, 3 across the middle, as you can see, and now 4. Budgie's approaching DC, but managed to cut one on the leg for his trouble. And it's a very poor pass from DC. Oh, Henry Brown got something on it, but not enough. Yeah, Pollock there has tried to dodge around his man. A little bit too much on it. But, oh, now DC's standing in the way, and now Yuri's thrown the ball away. Surely it's got to be a short corner. And there's Yuri back in the play again. Now that's very poor umpiring. And first David Campbell doesn't get out of the play the ball, and then Yuri just lifts the ball casually away before Ireland can take it. Eddie O'Malley. And another stick tackle. O'Malley. Yeah, off the foot again. O'Malley. Taylor. And passing just not quite sharp enough, not quite stick to stick, and just allowing that fraction of a second for Australia to regather. Norman Same now. Here he goes, going to pull this one back as he always does. He's been doing the same thing all day long. And the umpire's giving him the free hit again, as he's been doing all day long. Throws it back between his legs to Bart, and he's going left, going right, draws another foul. Same. Paul. Yuri, and that's a free out for Ireland. So pressure relieved. Australia got plenty of players down this right hand side, in that right hand pocket. Egner pretending to throw an overhead, but this again, not enough pace on the ball, so allowing Australia to pressure their players, and that looks like it's gone out and over the sideline, which it has. Henry Brown was there, but not quite in a good enough position. And that's off the Australia foot, but the umpire's played it on. Yuri to Same, and he's completely mishit that one. You can see he's having another little practice to himself there, over near the back line. Stuart Egner now has to take the ball from the position where it was hit out. Goes to Dowie. And Dowie very slow dealing with that ball. Egner's trying to find a foot there, I think, but anyway, Dowie's moved himself to the side, which is good. Budgie's managed to get something on this. He's popped one up here to Charlie Taylor, and he's had his stick checked yet again. Eddie O'Malley back to Budgie. There's Luck going long here. As Andy Matthews is up there, but not working his way back quite quickly enough. Budgie steps around one, and off he goes on a little jaunt. And that's off the foot again. Probably should have gotten rid of that a little bit quicker. O'Malley, Matthews now. And Henry Brown arriving, but not arriving quite quickly enough. And that's the right idea. Jeff Robinson was in or there or thereabouts, but couldn't get into position quickly enough. Norman Sames worked his way all the way back here. Billy Pollock has found himself a free hit, and he's put that into Paul Spencer, who now is working his way backwards. DC is also working his way backwards here. He's got an outlet on the right, which is Donny Bowser. So that's good work out of defence from Australia. And Peter Yuri gets the play moving quickly. Normie Same. that's again a free out for Ireland, so moving probably a little bit too quickly there. Australia not quite picking their passes as they normally do. And Ireland pick up a lucky ball at the side here. And Stapleton. Where's Stapleton going? He's thrown it into that space for Charlie Taylor, but it's not connected with him at all. But they managed to get it back, which is good. O'Malley changes the angle. Spins and takes himself around the circle and around in another circle. Charlie Taylor putting pressure on, but it's an Ireland ball. Dowie. Puts it onto the Australia stick, unfortunately. And Australia seem to be just walking down the field here without any real pressure being applied. Charlie Taylor's there, but not applying pressure. Paul Spencer, Billy Dowie manages to nicely get it away there. Fergus Stapleton comes out to Henry Brown, back into the centre to Charlie Taylor, but there's a lot of players and a lot of traffic in there. You've got to move it into that space, which is there it is now on that right hand side through Andy Matthews. And he finds Budgie out wide, who's come back into the inside channel. So now they're doing a better job of moving the ball back the other way. So move the play from side to side, side to side. And that's a poor trap from Charlie Taylor. Lifted the ball up, and unfortunately by the time he's regathered, he's lost the ball. Here's Harrison now. He's mistrapped. Egner's got it. Henry Brown. And yeah, managed to get it off Ace's stick. Ace is not too happy, you can see from the way he's having a look at the umpire there. But that's what it is. O'Malley throws the ball back to West. And Ireland recycle around the back. Collins here. And Dowie. Andy Matthews. And back to Dowie. Matthews again. As you can see, every time you get near a ball, there's a shove in the back, unfortunately. Our cameraman here is not keeping quite a close enough eye on the ball, as might be useful. I'm sure we'll get a sense of it in a second again. Oh, here we are. And Don Bowser manages to regather and throws one up and over the top. As far as Stuart Egner, who takes on Clive Harrison and finds himself a free hit. Straight across to Charlie Taylor. And Australia have won that one back. Paul Spencer now. And throwing it back to DC. So that's better from Australia. Now they're moving the ball wider. They've got more of a chance of doing something with it. It was Don True in there diving in for Australia to get that ball, I think. That went up and over the top to Taylor. And yeah, I was just about to say, Reddo there, number 11, Robert Redding, didn't give the requisite distance, but actually the umpire's given it the other way. He's actually given it to Reddo, saying it was Ireland that didn't give the distance. Usually goes to the defender in those situations, which is the default. Ace smashes one across. And bouncing ball, the umpire's blown danger, I think, and given it to Ireland. Paul Spencer was claiming for the short corner. Meanwhile, Egner restarts. Stapleton. DC all the way back and around. Don Bowser. So you can see the ball moving from side to side. Meanwhile, Ireland are shuffling from side to side. So there's an awful lot of unrewarded running going on out there. Roger West gets a stick on that overhead, but only turns it as far as the sideline. Ace now. No pace on that ball whatsoever, but still finds his player. Unfortunately, he's just put it out over the back line, so it's a free out for Ireland. Dowie to Matthews. To Budgie. He's come up and over the top. And again, DC's there. He didn't give any distance whatsoever for the player to receive that ball, and yet there's no whistle. Jeff Robinson goes across court to Diesel. He comes back to DC. And back to Robinson. So Australia happy to throw the ball around the back, and Ireland happy to let them do so. Robinson goes overhead now. And here's a chance, 17. Oh, it's just, wide of target. Don Truan on the case. Nice overhead, just deflected it into the line to goal. Got in there and hit it first time as soon as he crossed the top of the D. Just directed it towards the goal as Tim Hogg came out, the keeper, but wide of target. Oh, nice play, Australia. O'Malley has his pocket pick from Harrison, and DC cleans up and throws the ball around. That's nice and tidy. Ace missed traps. As people are getting tired now, we're seeing a few more missed traps starting to creep in. Charlie Taylor. Brown. Collins. Oops, and he's fallen over Paul's feet. Paul there is carrying the ball on his left hand side. He's lost out now. Budgie has a look and has a stick checked yet again. Collins, Matthews pops it through the feet. And that's Ireland claiming for the ball, but Australia's got the ball. DC, Big Dave Campbell, all the time in the world, no pressure. Ace, Paul Leadbeater, goes long, again finds his target. Rob Meager chasing around the place there. Egner throws it out wide to Rice, who slides it onto Taylor. Oh, mistrap from Budgie there, but doesn't bother trying to regather. He just uses the reverse edge of the stick, and it's a chip, but only into trouble through the middle. Oh, that's under the block hole. Collins lifted the ball dangerously. And Australia, three of them all the way up here. DC again, poor pass. Stapleton goes back into the middle. O'Malley goes long. But, maybe he's trying to hit the post. And that's obviously did not work. If that's what he was trying to do. Nobody up there, but however, that's the way it goes sometimes. Ace now, really stick around the ball, and Stapleton not diving in, just waiting for him. Now he hits one long. Roger West. Reddo. Meager to Trewin and out over the back line. And this all looks a bit familiar. Stapleton, Taylor, oh, nowhere near. So that's Australia ball. Oh no, it's not. It's an Ireland ball. Somehow. Budgie here as the clock winds down. There's really nothing on. Oh. And there's Andy Matthews up and over the top. And that's all she wrote. So Australia 2 and Ireland 0. As the players take the park, and it's all fist pumps all around. Yeah, there's the coach on the left in the big black jacket there. It's Robbie Lawson. Just next to him in front with the glasses is Bones. Stevie Sawyer's not playing today. Umpire Bruce Hockey in the bright and very colourful shirts, it must be said. They were tournament shirts here. Captain Switz there with the blue vest on for Ireland, red sleeves on the right, just out of shot now. So a lot of injuries through the Ireland side after this tournament started. One way and another, it hasn't been kind to them in that respect. Australia had all the play today. Brendan Rice there having a word with Norman Seaman. Norman's explaining to him. So I've been told that Norman does not understand a word he's saying. Richard Clark there in the right in the tracksuit as everybody gathers around. And the Australia team are having a quick debrief. And there's the Ireland team forming up on the right hand side and gathering up pins and bottles of Bushmills whiskey to distribute to their opposition counterparts. And there's Roger West in the background giving one to Paul Shepherd. And he's very happy. There he is. He's displaying his Bushmills whiskey to the team in the background there, right on the halfway line. Look at that, he said. Look what I've got. Robbie Lawson leading the cheer, 3 cheers for Ireland. I think he can understand what Ireland was trying to do. And there's the Ireland flag down the right corner, the 4 provinces of Ireland. Coach Curran there on the sideline with the Ireland tracksuit on, the white hair, just facing camera now. And Norma Clark there in the black on the sideline as well, the Ireland manager. Other Ireland goalkeeper, Mad Dog Kiernahan. And there's the goalkeeper from the second half on the right hand side. Tim Hogg still wearing his helmet, obviously in disguise. You never know, it might be dangerous talking to umpires after the game. Probably very wise to keep your helmet on. And there's the third umpire taking the pitch as well. Of course, hockey is a bigger game than just what you see on the field. There's an awful lot of organisation and administration going in the background. The technical bench has to run as well. 53 Carl Collings there going around with a bag full of whiskey and distributing those around the team for those who have not yet been fortunate enough to get one. And you can be guaranteed that there are a few takers. Billy Pollock down bottom right screen, just hand one over to David Campbell. And David Campbell's giving back badges to the Ireland team. So good fun all around, and we'll leave it there.